This is our pestle analysis of responsible fashion.
For political, we looked at emerging manufacturing hubs performing good practice due to government investment. Ethiopia is seen as the new sourcing manufacturing hotspot for fashion due to the significant government funding of infrastructure and heavy investments from global brands such as Calvin Klein and Aldo. The country is considered the most promising dynamic fashion manufacturing centre. Many large global brands and the government are ploughing huge investment into quality and productivity of clothing manufacturers throughout Ethiopia. The country boasts a cheaper landed cost than competitors Vietnam, China, and Indonesia, alongside the duty-free access to the US market due to the AGOA. We also looked at Donald Trump's succession's impact on responsible fashion. Trump became president of the USA in 2017. He aims to abolish the Environmental Protection Agency by initially cutting large parts of their funding. The EPA was created in 1970 to protect human health and the environment. Therefore, if Trump abolishes the agency, it could impact the USA from practicing responsible fashion, as the agency will not be able to have the funds to ensure companies are ensuring workers' rights are being met and responsible sourcing and manufacturing are being practiced.
Environmental factors affecting fashion. The fashion and textiles industry is the most polluting industry in the world. Coming in at second to oil, every stage of a garment's production threatens our planet and its resources. It can take more than 10,000 litres of water to produce just 1 kilogram of cotton, which is equivalent to one t-shirt and a pair of jeans. Up to 8,000 different chemicals are used to turn raw materials into clothing, including a range of dyeing and finishing processes, which end up being dumped into rivers and lakes that are in a lot of cases for some communities their only source of water. Fashion cycles, pollution and natural disasters. In 2015, the UK decided that customers were to be charged a minimum of 5p per plastic carry bags. This was to encourage shoppers to take their own and reuse bags they already had. In place of this, some retailers have chosen to turn to recycled paper bags, which is reducing the amount of plastic going into landfill, lakes, rivers and the sea. To date, the US only recycles 6% of their plastic compared to the UK, where 45% is being recycled. Hurricanes, tsunamis and droughts all have their impact on the fashion industry, as they affect the countries where a lot of garment manufacturing happens. Droughts and floods affect cotton production, as a lot of water is needed to grow and process cotton. But Levi's launched their waterless jeans in 2014, as they successfully managed to eliminate 96% of water used in jean production. The fashion cycle is changing more than ever before, as fast fashion has gained momentum over the past few years. The length of seasons are shortening and merging into one and becoming a continuous season led by trends. But also the weather is being affected by global warming, and the sales period of winter items is lengthening as customers are needing thicker items for longer, and spring-summer items are shortening. Fossil fuel fabrics. Manufacturing emits pollution into the air and waterways, harming both environmental and human health. For every ton of polyester, over 5 tons of carbon dioxide is released into the environment. Textiles such as polyester take between 30 to 200 years to biodegrade, and when they do, chemicals such as formaldehyde, heavy metals, and BPAs are released. Is fast fashion worth the harm it is causing?
Social factors. Women's wear in Britain rose by 21% in 4 years between 2001 and 2005. During the same period, prices dropped by at least 14%, but not because we were buying less. In fact, we were buying more than we ever have done before. Our expensive downfall is that most of us refuse to wear the same garment or accessory more than twice. Our friends often point out when we wear the same item more than once. This attitude is adopted from the media, which is a source we are heavily influenced by. As a result of sudden celebrity trends and blogging culture. Traditional trend influences have moved away from catwalks and towards music and art, which has caused an emergence of street style. Retailers must understand their customer type to understand where they get their influences from. Louise Morgan found that women aged 18 to 25 typically spend between £20 and £200 per month on fashion items, and when these affordable items tear or become marked, they would just throw them away. Consumer attitudes, and as a result, habits are changing, as the more traditional way of purchasing in harmony with your income and the way we carefully wash clothing has little in common with how we consume today. In an attempt to reduce the amount of fashion products that end up on landfill sites, large retailers are considering leasing apparel. Lee Tao understand that attitudes towards fashion items cannot be changed, so they embrace it, but in a more sustainable way.
When looking at technological, we looked at the growing popularity of wearable technology, such as Fitbit watches. These watches have technology to aid the wearer in health and exercise. A Fitbit senses and tracks heart rates through pure pulse technology, calories, sleep patterns, and quality by tracking the wearer's REM sleep. This enables the wearer to track and learn which exercise their body responds well to through heart rate tracking alongside an insight of how to improve their well-being. US brand Apple created the Apple Watch Night Plus. It's got built-in GPS technology which tracks the wearer's pace, distance and route. The watch also offers the Night Plus Run Club, which tracks the wearer's progress and saves the run to motivate the wearer to beat their goals. The Night Plus technology boosts the wearer's health insight and progress in exercising, as they can track their progress as well as being motivated by their friends who also use Night Plus Run Club. Both of these products are very popular in the UK and the USA.
In recent years, 3D printed clothes and accessories have appeared on runways. In 2013, 3D printed fashion had a huge moment when the annual Victoria's Secret fashion show was broadcast. US model Cara Delevingne walked the runway in computer-generated angel wings, while Lindsay Ellingson was outfitted in a corset and arm pieces intricately designed to look like snowflakes. One advantage of 3D printing with textiles is the level of complexity. When you think of constructing with a sewing machine, you're always thinking in terms of the thread. With 3D printing, you're not limited to that.
In the recent years, there has been a lot of advancements in technology. Communication has increased and people are able to find out information much quicker. Because of the advancements in technology, the general public are able to research and have a better knowledge on what responsible fashion is and will want to purchase clothing that they know has been made responsibly. For retail companies, this is putting a higher demand for responsible fashion in order to retain custom. However, due to the advancements in technology, this allows retail companies to have more communication with their suppliers and with the factories producing their clothing. Therefore, the retail companies can ensure that the rules and regulations for that company is being adhered to and the working conditions are safe for the employees' working environment.
Advancement in technology could mean that machinery will replace human workers, which will mean that for those workers there will be a lack of jobs and skill sets will become a thing of the past.
Economical factors. There are many economic factors regarding good practice with responsible fashion. Economical factors are extremely important when considering a more responsible fashion industry. Currently, there are a vast amount of issues that are contributing to economical issues that can either hinder or restrain good practices regarding responsible fashion. In the past few months, the British public are dealing with the issue of the United Kingdom leaving the European Union and becoming an independent country. There are positives and negatives for the fashion industry due to this change. As the UK is not part of the European Union anymore, it will make it more difficult for the UK to trade with other countries due to the rising cost and the new trade barriers. For many retailers, the issue of responsible fashion can often be forgotten due to costings. For these companies, knowing that the cost of labour can be more cost effective depending on the country, it can be very appealing to the suppliers as they can reduce the cost prices for the company purchasing the product. This can be challenging to show good practice of responsible fashion as they want to bring costs down. However, when doing this, they are allowing irresponsible fashion practices to occur through allowing factory workers to be paid a low wage or even have children working for them. It is every business's aim to make a profit. Therefore, they will try to ensure the best possible ways to enhance their profitability. However, this can encourage child labour and poor working environments for the employees. Another economic issue regarding good practices of responsible fashion is that the unemployment rate in the UK has increased. Therefore, many people have less disposable income to spend on items such as clothing. Therefore, the fashion companies need to find ways to reduce prices, and this can contribute to irresponsible fashion behaviours.
Legal factors affecting responsible fashion in the UK. In the UK, fashion retailers must abide by several laws. One of these laws is the Consumer Rights Law. The law protects the rights of the consumer when they buy goods or services. The consumer can get help if the retailer treats them unfairly or if something goes wrong, including help with credit and store cards, faulty goods, counterfeit goods, poor service, problems with contracts, problems with builders and rogue traders. Retailers must also abide by discrimination laws, both when employing people and when conducting business with people. It is against the law to discriminate against anyone because of their age, being or becoming a transsexual person, being married or in a civil partnership, being pregnant or on maternity leave, having a disability, their race including colour, nationality, ethnic or national origin, their religion, belief or lack of religion and belief, their sex and their sexual orientation. The Equality Act of 2010 legally protects people from discrimination. Retailers need to ensure that themselves, their suppliers and their subcontractors comply with the Health and Safety at Work Act of 1974. The Act is the primary piece of legislation covering occupational health and safety in Great Britain that covers subjects including control of asbestos, escape and rescue from fire, ionising radiation and working at height. Dispatch has produced a documentary covering the hazardous working conditions of some garment manufacturers in Leicester. These manufacturers were subcontractors producing garments for retailers such as Boohoo and Missguided. In the documentary, it was highlighted that the fire escapes were blocked, therefore the manufacturers were not compliant with the Health and Safety at Work Act. Thank you.